This week's video is about some young, under 5-month-old Himalayans, just going through them, having a look at them, seeing where they sit in the studs and what we plan to do with them. By now you all know that I consider assessing youngsters to be one of the most important parts of developing a cavy strain, and this is exactly what we do. The picture in the background is a family of Rex from Wendy Eichmann of Gemly Cavies in Australia, and this was posted on our Facebook page, Guinea Pigs with Greg. So pop on over and post pictures of your pigs, and maybe they'll feature on a video too. Okay, so here we have a 4-month-old boar named Jed. He's quite a nice sized pig. He's going through a long stage at the moment where his body is a bit longer than his head, and he looks quite stretched out. He's got a little nibble on his ear, so I'm not quite sure if he'll make a show pig or not. But his points have developed very nicely. It's the right time of year for Himalayans in the winter. The points are very crisp. You can see there's a very clear demarcation between the smut and the body colour, giving a very nice contrast. And he's a very well balanced pig, and that is exactly what I look for in boars in the stud. We can see all 4 feet are black, and you can see they're still coming through slightly. There's still little bits of white in there. It goes well up to the hock on the hind feet. I think he's got some very decent show potential with a bit of training. This is the litter brother of Jed. His name is Ted. He's a much more well-balanced pig, and his smut is more well-developed at this age. So it's very wide at the base and comes to that lovely pear-shaped point up here high between the nose. And you can see the ears are slightly more balanced and starting to hang more at this age. He stands well after a bit of coaxing. And I really like his appeal. And when I see him, he instantly looks nice. You can see here the feet are really through, so he's a lot denser than his brother, which is something that I look for in pigs that I want to do well as babies. So here we have the two side by side, and whilst they look very similar, there are some subtle differences, which means that they may be retained or may be let go from the stud. And I like to think they've both got their place. Here we have a young 3.5-month-old sow called Mink. And as you can see, she's much more developed. She's slightly overmarked, very dense points. Her body colour suffers for this as well. But she's got these big ears and a long head, and the smut is very nicely shaped. But it's just not defined enough for me. It sort of smudges into the face, which is makes a good breeding pig, but not necessarily a good show pig. And I find these pigs that develop at this rate tend to not make very good adults. You want them to be a lot clearer and whiter at this age, really. But she may be retained as a breeding pig, or she may find her way to someone else's stud to help them with issues of pigment that they have. But I think the balance of the pig you can't really deny. You know, the head shape is very good, and the way she stands is nice. And here you can see the front feet through quite neatly. There should normally be quite a lot of white here, but where she's so dense, the demarcation comes through a lot quicker. But you can see in the ears there's still white hair, so there's no denying her age. She is definitely a young pig. But the smudging of the smut and the body colour really detracts from the contrast, which means she's definitely not going to make it on the show bench anytime soon. And her feet are still clearing, which is again an indication that she is actually quite young, even though her smut is so well developed. And this pig is one that my granddad really liked, Lady Jane Bristol. He instantly spotted this as it was developing, and he's earmarked this for greatness. But we'll see. Himalayans change so much with the weather, and you know, depending on how they develop. But she does seem to have all the attributes that you like: a very bold eye, a very well-shaped smut, good body colour, as you can see, absolutely pure white, with no hint of staining. And she's coming through very nicely. She's still got to clear on her points, but the way she stands, she has real presence. She's a joy to watch on the table when we're training her. Very friendly pig, and yeah, you can see here the points are coming through. She's still got white hairs in the ears, which is an indication of her true age. As you said, balance is the key, and Lady Jane Bristol really does look like a well-balanced pig that should make the show table if we give her enough time in preparation. Okay, this is Tink, a 3.5-month-old sow. Very well balanced pig. Again, very similar to Lady Jane Bristol, but it's got a much larger bone structure, so it's got a slightly larger head. The ears still need to settle. I find this happens with time, normally around sort of the 5-6 month old age. You just need to work on them and press them down constantly. But the smut carries well up between the eyes, and it's got a very bold eye. There's a little close-up of the eye in the smut. You can see it's very dense and well defined. There's no sort of leakage into the face, which gives it a very good contrast. It makes it very striking. The future of this one is potentially a show pig if the ears settle, but definitely a keeper in the breeding pen. You can see the three sides together. You can see the much darker pig on the left, Lady Jane Bristol in the middle, and then Tink on the right. And you can see they've all got their qualities, but they look very pretty, very striking. It's Himalayan weather, like I said, it's very cold at the moment, so it just creates that real density of the points and the lovely contrast against the white body colour. And they're starting to stand well. I find if you can get them to stand on their front feet quite high, the judge can see the points more clearly. So that's something that I just personally do, just to get them going. And as it happens, the pig on the far left has gone to Zoe Fowlis to help improve the density of her pigs in her stud. So fingers crossed she does well for her, and she can get some good showable Himalayans on the show bench. I hope you've enjoyed looking at the young Himalayans. Until next time, I'm Guinea Pig Greg. Goodbye.